Bienvenido a Republica.
Banana.
Yeah, how do you say? Plantain.
Ananas.
I forget how you say
French.
banana.
It's ananas. But anyway, it's pretty amazing how quick these retail people are, right?
Yeah, they got that
Like
together.
right away. They just said, okay, the whole city's a banana republic. And there we are opposite St. Patrick's.
It's 3 o'clock, Charles.
Absolutely a beautiful church. It's been cleaned up many different times, but now it's almost immaculate, which is amazing.
Yeah, it
And
was brown for a lot of years.
Getting prepared for Easter, Good Friday and Easter.
Ah, right.
So that's why they clean it all up. And I guess we have people here, some people will take the week of Easter off, and so maybe there are foreigners here on vacation. Clearly they drew the short straw to come here. The choice was Mogadishu or here. Mogadishu's safer.
It is safer, right. Well, and there was that story, we'll maybe go by this later, but, are you going to get a Lego Bugatti, Charles?
I got one.
But a guy working in a parking garage tried to fight off a thief. A guy was trying to steal cars, took out a gun and shot the parking attendant twice. The parking attendant fought the guy, got the gun from him, and killed him. And they arrested him, and the district attorney charged him with murder. Same district attorney that is ginning up this case against Donald Trump.
It's amazing. Well, before we get too far into this, I should congratulate the art department, for just coming up with this idea all on its own.
Well, you know what's interesting? This is a movie that I actually wanted to see. This is one of these kind of Hollywood ensemble things where every famous person is in it, but nobody cared. Kind of like Fat Chicks advertising Victoria's Secret. It just did not excite anybody.
Right.
But the movie was called Babble On, and now we have Joe Biden just babbling on. I still haven't found out what he was talking about advertising Jenny's ice cream the other day.
And he cannot give an appearance where he doesn't screw up. Right? He reliably fucks everything up that he touches, which is what Barack Obama said about him. You could trust Joe Biden to F things up. It's a direct quote from Barack Obama.
Every single one of these guys on these pedicabs are violating the law by broadcasting that music around. You're not allowed to broadcast music above 7 decibels. And Charles, people watching right now will say, oh, Jason, you're a jerk, yelling at people with the bikes and this and that. Here's what I'm getting at, Charles. It's just like with the broken windows policing.
Yeah.
And I don't think this means I should go around yelling at everybody on a bike. But my point is, there are even viewers on Crowdsource the Truth who say, oh, you're a jerk, I'd be yelling at you as well. And the point of the matter is, if we cannot even get decent people to agree to be cooperative members of society where they're going to abide by the rules for something that simple, we're never going to get people to stop stealing money from Congress and to agree to not put somebody in jail for defending their life and defending the criminal instead. I mean, this is basic stuff. So, I mean, rather than sharing your asshole opinion with me about what you think about what I say to people on the street, anybody who doesn't like it can stop watching.
So, I think there is a large percentage of the American population, and in theory, the civilized world, that wants to destroy civilization. They're not interested
would
in
they want that?
Because if they're the ruling power and everyone else is in fear of them, they can steal more from the oppressed. That's the basic idea. And you want people to be, timid and meek and not complain when the government steals your stuff by inflation, for example. Inflation is theft. It's organized theft.
Yeah, because they're just sending the money to Ukraine or military company or whatever.
Or themselves.
Then they get donations to their campaign. And it was ridiculous what George Soros was saying. He was like, I did not finance Alvin Bragg. I just financed this PAC over here, and then they financed it.
Well, George Soros is somebody that has a long, disreputable career of sowing mayhem in a manner that has managed to create a gigantic fortune for himself and his family. He's a despicable human being whose corpse I hope will rot in hell.
But this is his business. I mean, you're not exaggerating. He will go and fund, like that company you were talking about. He might not run a company like it, but they'll
Charge
create
capital, yeah.
conditions in a country that will lead to
Right.
collapse of the government or the economy or whatever, and he'll short the currency and make money from the misery of other people.
And short the debt. But in the case of Libya, for example, there is this established, in quotes, body of law that if you have a provisional government recognized by international bodies, then that provisional government has access to the wealth of the mother country. In that case, in the case of Libya, the vast oil wealth and other wealth that Libya had assembled.
Right.
And so the game in 2012 was to anoint a group, to get Hillary and others to say that group had the standing to get the money, and then to steal as much of that money as possible. That was the game.
And you see people like the Clintons who think that it's okay for them to steal money. People like Joe Biden who think, oh, look, Hunter's had a rough life. Yeah, he's on video doing crack and having sex with hookers and doing business with criminal gas companies in Ukraine and sharing really detailed official intelligence assessments with the same people.
Right.
That's all right. My kid can do that. My kid can ride a bike on the sidewalk. It's the same attitude. That's what I'm getting at. People who think that the law does not apply to them are dangerous people who need to be disabused of that fallacy.
Right. Well, I think wasn't Jesus.
Yeah, let's go over here.
Yeah. Wasn't Joe? Also cutting Hunter some slack because he would only sleep with his daughter, and shower with his daughter, and he wouldn't shower with Hunter.
But the gun crime, Charles, any one of these things,
right?
Any person does that, and you're going to have 5 years of paying a lawyer, ruining your life, getting every job lost, having nothing to do but worry about your misery every single day, followed by 5 years in jail. Meanwhile, Hunter Biden is just going around renting apartments. Now, is that a protest over there?
I don't know. We can see.
Having kids with strippers.
Well, I love that custody case, where the stripper is saying, I want the right for the product of our union to be able to use the valuable Biden name. Look how much money Hunter is selling.
That kid's got to pay $1 million for that.
It's just pathetic. Well, I know we're going to go into the First Amendment forum, so we're just teasing really the beginning here, and I'm going to, in the First Amendment forum, I'm going to get into some depth, some new information about the Clinton Foundation, or the supposed Clinton Foundation.
The so-called,
exactly.
Clinton Foundation.
Right.
And Plaskett, we should talk about some more too. She is just so unprofessional, so impolite.
Right. Well, there are cameras over there.
Yeah, I guess
maybe they're wondering if Trump is in here.
That's what I was going to say. If you're Fox or NBC or whatever, you're going to station camera crews all over the place and just pay them to stay there for 2 days, because the value of having 4 seconds of Trump walking out of this building or into this building is big.
Right.
And now they have only one cop here. There used to be all kinds of armed presence.
Well, let's go across the street and see what's over there. Who's waiting? Maybe there's somebody we know who's waiting.
Sure.
Tiffany and Company. Boy,
but
oh
just,
boy. This is
along the lines of what you're saying about the First Amendment forum, I want to remind people they can watch on subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth, patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth, odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth, and crowdsourcethetruth.substack.com. Little flood right there, Charles.
We don't really have the light.
No, but it's the year of the flood. So we're here. This is kind of like a shopping nexus.
Well, this is a very important cross street in Manhattan. It used to be, there was a time when actually the four corners of this area were either shuttered or vacant or whatever when the city was down. And it's taken a long time for the city to come close to getting back. And I submit to you that it's still pretty far away from being on the rebound. And there you have a nice early spring view of Central Park. We'll go up into Central Park in a bit.
More moving trucks.
Yeah.
People moving out.
Moving on up, like the Jeffersons. So we can go.
So we were talking on the walk up here when we walked past the library that Mayor McStupid, Eric Adams, he's like, what do we need libraries for?
Libraries.
I can't read.
Libraries.
Yeah, so he's taking money away from the library budget to pay cops overtime. But we see what they're doing on overtime. They're just standing around texting, doing nothing, arresting people who are defending themselves.
There's a lot of
that is
cameras here,
proof
Jason.
positive.
Right?
Yeah, but these guys are obviously
Relax.
working. They're waiting to get some.
I mean, this is a lot
Yeah,
of
the
cameras.
Pelican cases and stuff. These are people who are paid to be here. They're working for news. You got the food.
Guys eating.
They're just that camera's probably rolling the whole time, and then if Trump walks out, they've got the shot.
So how do they do this? Do they? Do people negotiate to get the spot, or is it first
Probably
come, first
have
first serve?
passes, and I don't know. You deal with the cops.
I mean, that one it doesn't seem to be taken right there.
I'm sure it's waiting for somebody. There's something taped to it right there.
Oh,
I bet
AP.
you-
It says AP.
Yeah. I bet you if we go in there, they'll tell us to piss off.
Right. Okay. Well, let them do that. Yeah, I doubt Trump is here.
Well, I guess he's going to sleep here tonight. No, maybe not.
Not
He'll
tonight,
Just
it's
fly
Tuesday.
overnight. All right, right. Well, you never know what he might do.
Maybe he's meeting with his lawyers here. I don't know. And that
They
guy's
said-
what? Painting it? The guy with the wool hat.
Yeah, look at that. Let's look at that. So let's talk about Stacey Plaskett for a second, Charles.
Sure.
They had another
She lost a
weaponization
gasket.
meeting. She blew a gasket.
Right.
Mike Johnson, the representative from Louisiana, he handed her some document that I believe was intended to clarify a point.
Right.
And you see people handing them documents in Congress all the time. It almost looks like they're assistants who are doing it. And then Plaskett just took the document, stood up, walked it, threw it in Johnson's
She's a
face.
drama queen. I mean,
But it's just unprofessional.
Well, I mean, again, the woman has, or the person has no vote in Congress. And instead of basically being in the shadows, whether it's man, woman, some other gender, white, black, alien, whatever, if you're non-voting, you should shut the fuck up.
She even asked during that session, how will my vote be counted? And because the guy moved to adjourn, and Jim Jordan said, your votes aren't counted.
No vote for you.
So-called delegate.
No soup for you.
Well, so basically we came up here anticipating that there might be some protest activity or something. Obviously Donald Trump, it's been announced, is going to be arraigned on Tuesday. And we're here at Trump Tower. We're going to take a little walk around Central Park. So in less than 5 minutes, people are going to be able to join us in the First Amendment Forum. And I know there's a lot of stuff to talk about today. Should we just head up there?
Sure. Let's hit the road, Jack. Or Jason.
Yeah. How much do you think that tripod costs, Charles?
No idea. If you could tell me $100, I'd say that's right. You tell me $1,000.
Like 8,000.
8,000 for a tripod?
Well, the legs
Made
are
out of
probably
platinum?
carbon fiber.
$8,000? You
the
could buy a
legs-
motorcycle for that.
The legs are probably about
Or
$3,000.
you could buy a bicycle for that.
And the head is at least 5 or 6.
Why
It
do you-
could be 12 for the
Why
head.
do-
It depends on the weight of the camera.
Why would you want to spend $12,000 on a what's it called?
Tripod?
A tripod? Jesus.
Because you need to put a camera on it. Anyway, people are going to be able to join us in just 5 minutes on subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth, patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth, odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth, and crowdsourcethetruth.substack.com. Now, Charles, you know what's important? Social engineers are not letting up on trying to destroy the channel. So people who are like, I don't need to sponsor the show, I'm just going to watch it on YouTube. If you like the show and you want it to not go away, it is important that you become a sponsor, because without sponsors, I'm not going to be able to continue. So please join us. We'll be back in 5 minutes. And thanks to all the people who are sponsoring the show. Greatly appreciate it.